What's up, YouTube? So today is our Christmas special. We're gonna be turning this one. When this is done, I'm probably gonna do the other one off camera. This is the smaller of the two, should go a little quicker. It is probably gonna be mostly time lapse because I'm planning on this taking a couple hours and I don't want to upload a video that long, especially with the holiday being tomorrow. So without further ado, we're gonna mount this up to the lathe on regular video, and then I'm going to pop it over to time lapse. Enjoy the new tunes for this channel, and we're gonna finally reveal the secret of what this was always gonna be from when I decided to pour it, because my idea has not changed. So flipping you around, and here we go. And we're back. Not that I really left, I just had to raise a tripod up for a second. So I'm gonna cheat. One of the few times you'll actually see me willingly change out a tool rest. This is the one that came with my lathe. I've got a few others like this guy that's a lot longer. That's right, I forgot. Before we start, I gotta put a shorter bar on this one. Come on, I just saw it. I just saw my shorter one. Okay, well, I'm gonna have to find that, and then we're gonna switch it over. Or I might not, because yeah, I don't know. Let's see if I can track it down here real quick as soon as I get everything else on. So we'll set that over there. Chuck on. Grab our drive spur. Of course, my chuck key is not where it should be. Definitely want my turning gloves for this one. Where did I put it? Alright, well, that's two things I gotta run and find real quick, so I will be right back. Okay, so I cannot find the chuck I wanted to use. I can find the chuck, I just can't find the tool I need to be able to tighten it, so I'm gonna have to, I'll look after we're done and see if I can't track it down. And worst case, I will see if I can order a replacement, which really don't want to, but that's one of those things you gotta have to be able to use them. So alright, oh, my deformed project. So now we're gonna take this drive center, lock it in. So that's nice and secure. Pull this guy out a little bit. Live center in the tailstock. I did take a marker and mark the center, and I took sander to knock most of that down. Couldn't get a good angle to film it, so I just did it. Now we just take that, put that about in the middle. 3 hands to do this, but yep, I think we got it. Now we just tighten all that down. I did find my shorter tube, so I gotta pop this set screw out real quick. And then I'm not dealing with this. I gotta reset something else, and I just want to get going. So I'll deal with doing this the way I usually do it. Gotta see if Laguna makes a longer standard tool rest. Right? Yep. Here. Come at me, safety police. These are small, tight fitting, which is why I specifically picked them out for doing lathe work. Technically, you should never wear gloves and stuff like that around anything that spins, but these are my shop gloves. I like them because I can still feel with my fingers, but they're tight to where I think that tag's the only one that sits on there, but generally when I'm turning, I've never had an issue yet with them, and if I ever do, that's when we cut it off. So, alright. Now we are going to, I'm going to grab a quick drink. We're going to slowly turn the speed up and see where we're at. Alright. How's that look on camera? Because that looks pretty cool to me. Alright. I'm gonna leave this on a regular video for a minute. What we're gonna do is take this, I'm gonna shape it to where it's pretty much straight, and then pop this into a time lapse, and we're gonna see what we get. Just so you know, I am gonna try to cut this end down so I can put it in my chuck, so that way I don't like running between centers like this, but sometimes this is how you have to start in order to get the tenon you need. Because then when we're done, I'll cut that tenon off, which will be the very last step. And then yeah, so we're gonna get this so I can mount it in my chuck right now. That's the danger of turning between centers. Every so often I will lose tension and just gotta keep going. I hate turning between centers. This one will take a bit longer, but it should work. Alright, we're going to pass you guys over to a time lapse, because this is going to take a lot longer than I expected. So we're a little over an hour and a half into everything. Just wondering if anybody's actually been able to kind of figure out what it is I'm doing. I'll slide you over here. And the charging cord's in the frame now. There we go. A little less of a side of the lathe in it. Yeah, I'm just curious to know if anybody's actually figured out what it is I'm working on. Don't mind my reference lines when I do the other one. I'll explain why those are there, but that's just to kind of help me visualize with what I need. We're almost down to where I need to be on the end, and then this is going to have a little bit of a shape to it, and then what I'm doing with this will happen. Shape a little more of the bottom, smooth everything out. Then I'll be back to talk with you for a minute before we sand it. I'm going to be doing most of this wet, so it's going to be a process, but we'll do that. I'll have to buff it up like I did with the eggs with the micro mesh, and then when I start applying finish, I'll be back to talk with you guys. And yeah, hopefully by then we'll be done. It's currently 3:20 a.m. I'm hoping to be done by about 5, so I'm thinking I got about another hour of shaping on this, and then we will be back. Like I said, I'll talk with you for a minute. A little time lapse to sanding because this is going to take a while, and then once we're doing finish, I'll try to answer any questions I can think of you guys might have, and then yeah, so I'm gonna get back to it. And I'm back. You guys figure out what it's gonna be yet? I'd sure hope so by this point. But yeah, in the event that you haven't, this is done officially being shaped. Now I'm gonna go into sanding. I just found one of my favorite sanders that does the same job as the drill, but it doesn't add any extra noise. Not going to matter for you guys on a time lapse, but in the future it will be quieter when I pull this thing out. I might grab a few more since it's Christmas time, that way I can keep a few laying around. So happy after today, and I hit my off season of the shows, which I'm currently in. I'm going to do some more flat work, and I think the first thing I'm going to do is build out a mobile bench type deal just to hold on my lathe stuff, which is going to be bigger than what it's currently at. Pull this off here real quick. That's version 1.0. It's got a little, like up there is a little magnetic tray. I got a couple of my small tools hanging on there, paper towels. There's a cup holder behind the paper towels. I usually keep a bottle of pop in. I like something that seals so that way it doesn't get in any of the sawdust and stuff in the air in it while I'm turning. And yeah, because then I got lots of things I want to get done out here before the summer hits. I'm probably going to end up losing a lot of room to work until then, because I got a lot of stuff I got to clean up, a lot of plywood laying around in different places that I want to pull everything out and actually set it in here and have it organized, including making a few holders for some stuff and getting rid of some junk in the spring. Almost said summer. But by next winter I want to be able to actually show more of my shop and not worry about people going, ew, it's so messy. So, but yeah, I'm going to go over a lot of that probably in the next video, which I actually might record after this one's uploading. That way I can get 2 out This is some ideas I've got for next year, but for now, we're gonna go to the final time lapse, and I'm going to sand up my giant bottle. And by the way, I don't have them, but I am gonna drill this out for a cork, so I'm not gonna cut it off the lathe today, or at least not in this one. But yeah, so that said, I'm gonna get to sanding. I just wanted to hop in here real quick before I do the second half of the sanding process to say, you guys, this is looking absolutely incredible. I know it's not very, it's a little opaque, a little bit of water on that. It's just because I still have a bunch of scratches to get out, that's why I'm still buffing it. But holy cow, this thing looks incredible. I am so happy with this. And seriously, let me know in the comments below if you guys want me to do a long form of the other one. This is only taken to this point. I've got about 2 hours in it. I will upload a long form video if you guys want it. I also, if you ever see me at shows, I do actually play these. It's another reason I like to do ASMR, so you can just watch me work and I can talk with people, and if they have questions, well, here, let me pull this video up and you can see the whole process in real time. But this looks absolutely amazing. I'm also curious to know if anybody'd be interested in buying something like this, because I might make 2 or 3 of these next year to sell for Christmas. This one's definitely going to be mine, just because of the sheer amount of work I put into it, and the fact that this alone, just in raw materials, you're looking about $100. And I'd have to go in, calculate my final hours, everything I put into it, to come up with a total price. But if anybody's interested, please let me know, because like I say, I'm probably not selling these two. Definitely not this one, just because this is the first one I made. But yeah, if you guys are interested for next year, find out ahead of time. I'll get a few made up in advance. So I'm gonna go back to buffing with my micro mesh pads, and then we're done. Or I'll be back to throw a finish on, then we're done. I don't know if you just saw in the video or not, but I just had one of my lights randomly die on me. Looks like half the LEDs in it just went. So good thing I've been looking into replacing some of these, because a few of them are flickering. And I'm wanting to get some more light out here anyway. So we are going to now have to make that a higher priority. This is where we're at. I don't know why it's staying this cloudy, but sometimes when I start putting finish on is when it'll really buff out and really shine up. So let's keep our fingers crossed that's what happens today. Because if not, I'll cheat it and then go in on off camera and sand everything down again. because that's usually the only option if it doesn't buff out. So right now we're just gonna hand spin the lathe a little bit. Some of my Yorkshire grit microfine abrasive paste on. Stuff is absolutely amazing for plastics. Cannot recommend it enough. So happy we can finally get it in the States. I've been seeing it for years from the people I watch from Europe and Australia. Just like, I want some! But that cleared up a lot. Alright, for the difference of that, I'm gonna throw one more coat on, because why not? I want to make sure that I really buff this thing up as much as I can. And I really don't want to put the buffing wheels on this thing, because like I said, I want to be done by about 5 a.m. and it is currently 4:24. So I want to get this edited together, uploading hopefully by 5:30, because I've got plans to go see a movie today on by the way, this is Christmas Eve, Sunday, the same day this is going to be uploaded, hopefully, assuming YouTube actually lets it get through on time. Probably going to set it for about a 5 p.m. We'll see. I might set it for 5 and then who am I kidding? I want to try to get it out by like 3:30. That's my goal anyway. We'll see if YouTube allows it to upload by then. My lathe's not happy turning this much weight fast. Little air pocket right there that's exposed. Other than that, she's good. I gotta say, I am really happy with how this thing came out. This is just another clean paper towel. Just gonna try to make sure everything gets off. for a first attempt at something this big, I'm very happy with how it came out. I can go down a whole list of complaints I'm seeing on it, but I try not to when that's the first one. That's why I made two, because I want to try to, well, I really want to get better at making these bigger style projects with resin, and trying to do the curves like this is actually very hard to sand out, because you know, when you're looking at it, oh yeah, that looks cool, but what you might understand instinctively but not really think about, when I'm working here versus when I'm working here, if I go the same rate, this is getting how many more revolutions on it versus the bigger side. And that's something that if you're not thinking about it, it's a very easy thing to overlook. That's why this is almost perfectly clear, and back here I'm seeing some issues. And of course I realized this halfway through sanding. So when I do the next one, that's when, you know, it's all a learning process. It's like I even had a coworker last night tell me they were trying something with resin like this, and they were hoping it'd be set today or yet last night before we went in. And I told him just up the temperature in the room to about 80 degrees or so, and he's like, but it's 72. I'm like, right, and if you up it to about 80, that resin will cure just a little bit faster. You don't want to get it too hot because then you run the risk of it cracking, but usually you want it between I believe most resins say 70 to 78, 80, somewhere around in there. Like if I really needed to set quick, what I'll do is set it in my office and turn a space heater on, because that space heater will get my office crazy hot in the matter of about half an hour on high, to the point where you go in when the rest of the house is about 70. You walk in there and it's like, holy cow, what's going on in here? Because it feels like you just walked into a sauna. But if you need resin to cure quick, that's the way to do it. But you also got to be careful, because if you're using a fast curing resin, 80 might be a little too hot, so you know, you just kind of gotta, I always tell people if they really want to get into it, start with a smaller amount, play with it in like an 8 to 10 ounce plastic cup, especially if you want to start turning stuff, because that's how I made all my eggs this year. I think they were 8 ounce plastic cups that I poured everything in, and it makes life so much easier when you understand the materials you're working with. And then if you do mess up, I'd rather mess up a 10 ounce cup versus, you know, a 3-gallon resin pour, which I have actually done before. That stuff gets crazy. But I'm sorry, I didn't done a 3-gallon pour, I've done a gallon pour. I was thinking it was a 3-gallon kit. But yeah, I mean, it's just, that's why it's always best to understand your material when it's on a small scale before you try doing anything big. Now we're going to do the final coat of beeswax. And like I said earlier, this is not going to come off the lathe in this video, because I want, after I see the movie I'm going to, which I mainly just, I don't know, I really just want movie popcorn, so I find one I think I can tolerate because I'm not crazy about a lot of modern movies, and go there, enjoy my popcorn, and then go about my day. And sometimes go, wow, I'm really glad I went. And usually, well, the movie was a waste, but the popcorn wasn't, so. So we're just gonna and all this is 100% pure beeswax that I'm using a little bit of light friction to melt, and I'm working it down the whole length of the project. And once it's worked down, what I'll do is invert this paper towel so it's clean, and then I'm going to work it in and basically just keep going. I don't know if you guys can see, but there's actually a line where the finish is, where I'm applying pressure that I can see, and all I do is just slowly take it back and forth from this point. You can kind of see where it's building up and getting thick right now. We'll just take it back and forth until I can't see anything moving with my hands. And then that's when I know everything's pretty well coated and everything's good to go. And yes, I just burnt my hand with the friction on this thing, because this, believe it or not, this gets very hot right now. I mean, it's not as bad up here, but down here where it gets thin, it's going to be pretty intense. Yeah, like I said, there's still a few little things I don't like on it, but overall, she's done. I'm kind of at a loss of words right now. I'm not used to doing projects that takes weeks on ends to get done. Yeah, I'm very pleased with that. So I'm gonna pull you guys off, hold the camera. I want to wipe the lenses down to make sure we get a nice clear thing on the end, and then yeah, I'm gonna head inside, finish up what I want to say, call it. All right. Well, here's the final product, or at least as final as it's gonna be. When I want to drill this out for a cork later today, and when I'm done, I'll have a picture up on Facebook when it's finally off. That's when I'll cut this off, but that's just using a saw. There ain't nothing fancy to that. But yeah, so there's our little tree with a couple presents. I know it's upside down here, but you can see the other side. You can definitely see where I had a little weird texture in the resin, but I actually kind of like the aesthetic of it, so I'm not complaining. But yeah, who cares about going inside? It's comfy out here, and I got a little residual heat. But yeah, I just wanted to say, hope you all have a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Next week is probably just gonna be boring with me talking, just kind of plans for next year, that kind of thing. And then, yeah, I've got one poll on here, just kind of getting a feel for what y'all want to see. I'm gonna throw one up on Facebook as well. If you vote in both, that's cool. If not, there's part of my glare. But yeah, and I appreciate any feedback, anything you guys want to see in the next year, 2024. I've got, I think, 6 or 7 just pure shop infrastructure builds I want to get done. I talked about the one earlier because I want to get that bigger. Next year, I've had a few places ask me to actually bring a lathe so I can do live demos. So I'll be doing stuff like tops, basic pen turning, stuff like that. At those, I'll just be doing wood though, because I don't like having to clean up from resin and acrylics, plastic, stuff like that. It's, I mean, heck. This is why, because this is after the result of this project and the eggs I made for everybody for Christmas. I mean, this is gonna take quite a while to clean up. And when I say there's a lot, I mean, we're talking, I can literally bury my hand in this. It's a good 6-7 inches tall. So definitely a very messy style of working, but oh so worth it. But I need to get my glasses adjusted. But yeah, so I just, again, wanted just to say thank you for the support. Hope to see you all next year. Hope you guys have a happy holidays. And yeah, I'm pretty sure that was it. So I will say cat in the hat and dappy dat. See y'all later.